Hello, everyone. This is David, Fairly Secret Music, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Megadeth and then a podcast called Thrash It Out. So, first thing is, Metal Mickey did a video talking about the remixes and remasters and how the Rust in Peace sounds so heavier or louder than the original. I've done some comparisons between the Kill 'Em All and the Peace Cells, but I really like the remixes on them. And after the first two albums, I'm not 100% like familiar with those as much. Well, I am with So Far So Good So What, but I really like the quality of that album on the remix and remaster. But he said he did this video, and I thought, do I need to listen to Megadeth more? And I thought, okay, let's just do a whole day of Megadeth. So unfortunately, that did not happen because I didn't have control over the stereo at work, really. But I did get like 3 albums in, and then I thought, let me go to the closest record store and see what they have. And they had Dystopia, and they had it for $6. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna get this, and it's their newest album. Never heard it before. What I'm gonna do is listen to it 3 times, once with headphones on while reading the lyrics, and then come back and give you a review of what I thought of this album. I'm going to do 3 times minimum, but at least 3 times before I give any kind of review of this album. This idea I got from Brian Latindry from the Thrash It Out podcast. And if you don't know about the Thrash It Out podcast, they are a couple guys that get together, they pick an album, then they do the podcast, talk about the band, then talk about the album 1 track at a time. And they'll give a 30-second sample of the song that they're going to talk about, and then they go through it and discuss it. It's a really cool podcast. The Facebook group is really cool. Nobody is a troll on there, and the one time there was, they just got rid of him. I'm probably the biggest troll on the dang thing because I recently wrote, hey, I don't mean to shit on everybody's love for Ghost, but I think the singer is too weak for that band, and I don't like him. And the worst response was probably, oh, that sucks. Oh, well, everybody has their own opinion. And yeah, it's a great group of people, men and women, that are just really into metal, into music, and respect each other's opinions, just like you would hope a social media would. So I'll go over a few things that they have done in the past. Last season, they've done 3 seasons, each with 12 episodes, plus like a bonus one here or there. And if you're a Patreon member and, you know, all you have to do is donate like $1 per episode, and honestly, it helps these guys do this podcast. I have no problem with that. They have both helped me with lyrics for a couple projects that I've done. Anthony did 4 lyrics for an EP that I did for my recording project, Waves of Mercury. Brian is helping with another EP, and so is Anthony, again, for the same project. They're both writers. I'm not sure. I know Brian does something else. Anthony is a writer. He does mainly comics, but he's just finished a novel too. Comics he's done. He's worked for Marvel, Image, Oni, maybe a couple other ones, maybe Dark Horse, I can't remember. But he did Wasteland, and that's how we kind of hooked up. He did Codename Babushka, and he did Coldest City, which is the bassist of the Atomic Blonde movie with Charlize Theron and John Goodman. They started out the podcast doing the big four, so Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer. They did, let me see what is the, let's see what the albums that they did for those first ones were Saint Anger, South of Heaven, Stomp 442, and So Far So Good So What. They have done Queensrÿche, Paradise Lost, Sister Sin, Dio, let's see, Win Hands Down, Armored Saint. They've even done a special one, which was Siberian Orchestra. I've never listened to that one because I think Trans-Siberian Orchestra are over. Oh, God, I hate them so much. They're so boring. Sorry. See, I do have an opinion. I'm the troll on the site. They've done Twisted Sister, Typo Negative, Individual Thought Patterns by Death. I disagreed with a lot of things they said on that, and especially because they did not listen to the remixed and remastered version of Individual Thought Patterns. Last season, which was season 3, Anthony was doing albums that changed the face of metal or changed the landscape of metal. So he did like Black Sabbath's Paranoid, Vulgar Display of Power, let's see, I think Number of the Beast was his choice. I know Through Silver and Blood by Neurosis was his choice. And this season, which is season 4, they've only done 2 episodes so far. Brian is doing a thing called Respect Your Elders, where he takes newer stuff by older bands. So Mind Over Metal, you might be interested in listening to the one that they just did, episode 1, which is The Grinding Wheel by Overkill. Honestly, I think he should have done an earlier one like Horoscope or even better, Years of Decay, but I get his idea of saying, hey, these guys are still making albums now, and they're still good, which brings me to Megadeth, Dystopia. This is kind of how it comes full circle. There are a few ways that you can be an active listener in the show. If you're a Patreon, and all you have to do is give them like $1 per episode, so like $12 a year or something like that, if that. And you get to submit a choice for an album that they would have to listen to. There is also a backstage pass thing where if you are chosen, they figure out, I think it's through Skype, because Anthony is in England, Brian's in like Connecticut or something like that, and the audio is recorded and they have you on the show talking about the album that you picked. So it's kind of a cool idea, and it makes you feel a little bit more involved with this podcast. I'm very curious as to what the next Respect Your Elder is going to be. Maybe it'll be this album, because I know Megadeth is one of, if not Brian's favorite band. So Thrash It Out Podcast, if you do a Google search for Thrash It Out podcast, it should be the first thing that comes up. They have a great Facebook page. I believe they're on Twitter. I don't do Twitter, so hopefully you check them out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this album, and I will comment on what you said. And I'll see you in 3, maybe 4 listens later, and hopefully you find something you like. Thanks.